One big difference between beginners and drummers who are more technically advanced is the ability to build up parts over the course of a song. This may be changing the drum parts from, say, one verse to the next, or even changing the parts within a single verse or chorus. Not only does this use of variations help keep the listener engaged, but it also helps you control the change of emotion and intensity of the song as it progresses. Some really simple things you can do to juice it up is to open up the hi-hat, add an extra hit on the snare, maybe throw in a flam on the toms, something like this. Now, for this building up approach to work, it's not enough to just throw these things in randomly. Then it seems more like a fill. Instead, what you want to do is have one consistent version that you play for multiple measures, and then switch to another that you play for multiple measures. Let's jump into some real-world examples. These are all things that I've previously used in songs. In this particular song, the first verse, it's very basic, though a little rhythmic. It's kind of following some cues from the guitar. After 3 times through playing this very basic version, I start to open up the hi-hat, and I do that for 2 more times through. And that helps drive the intensity of the verse up a little bit as we're approaching the chorus. Let me show you a shortened version of that. Now, leaving the chorus, I didn't want the intensity to drop back down again, so going into the second verse, I start off by playing the 3rd version of what I'm playing for the verse. This time, there's a lot more double bass going on. And again, I switch things up partway through by adding more double bass and some extra crashes. For this next part, I changed the phrasing up quite a bit between the 2 variations. That, coupled with a lot more double bass, helps the feeling of the part switch from kind of this like cool, good groove to something that's far heavier, far more intense. So far, our approach has been to add some accents or generally make the part busier, trying to make the intensity greater. And as you can see, we can start to really change the feel of it. What if we really wanted to change the feel significantly, but we wanted to try to stay true to the original drum beat? Let's take this next beat on the China as an example. That sounds like a typical rock beat, and we can change this by switching the China from 1/8 notes to 1/4 notes, reducing how many times we're hitting the snare, and that'll have the effect of making the parts start to sound a bit sludgy. And then we can further that effect by taking out the double bass. Let's switch over to some tom grooves. In this example, it starts off very sparse. Then I add in a lot more on my 16-inch floor tom, then straight single bass drum, then straight double bass drum. Here's another example on the toms. This time I add in just some double bass as an intermediary step. If you're looking for some other ideas on how to make your drum beats less boring, then you'll definitely want to check out the ideas I show in this video right over here. Until next time, peace.